You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look, in today's video we're gonna be covering an OP09 tier list made by somebody from the east. Yes, you heard me right. Somebody from the east made a prediction OP09 tier list. We're gonna go over his tier list, and then we're actually gonna change it to my liking because I seen the list. It's not really, I don't know, I don't agree with a lot of this stuff, but nonetheless, he's in the east. He knows what they're playing. He knows what to expect. All the top players know what to expect. So, you know, why not look at this guy's list? Okay, so as you guys see on the screen right now, expand this. So this is the tier list right here. Okay, so this is his tier list, okay, for the OP09 meta, including all of the new leaders such as the Luffy, the Blackbeard, the Robin, the Shanks, the Lim. We are going to go over this in my personal opinions, but we're not going to go over it like this. We're actually just going to load up our own tier list, you know, maker, and just play around with it. So I'll be right back. So this is the tier list that we just saw on the screen from the east. You guys can see we have the Luffy, we have the Blackbeard, we have the Robin, we have the Shanks, we have the Lim. So we have all the OP09 new leaders in this tier list. And before we start, I do need to tell you guys this. The main reason why we're going over this OP09 tier list is because I want to give you guys some insight on what decks you should possibly investing in for OP09. Okay, I don't want you guys to buy a deck now, then 2 months you pretty much can't use it. I want you guys to invest into a deck now, so by the time we do get to OP09, you know, format like what they're doing, I mean, you guys don't need to change anything, maybe a couple upgrades, but I mean, your deck's already solid. So this is just really for investment purposes as well. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just telling you what I'll do. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Black and purple Luffy. If you guys don't know what this card does, I'm not going to break down everything, but out of all the purple and black support that has came out in the last 3 sets, I feel like this is correct. I feel like this may be the best leader in the game, being able to just run all the broken purple cards such as the 9-drop Lin, the 10-drop Kaido, and Lin. I think they also get a brand new 9 or 10-drop Luffy in this set, OP09. And on top of all the black cards like Gecko Moria, I feel like the best color combo right now, just because it got so much overwhelming support, is this black and purple Luffy. This will probably be the best, I wouldn't say the best, but one of the best, if not the best leader in the OP09 meta. So very, very shiesty. The next card I really do agree with, the next leader, is Blackbeard. Blackbeard turns off literally 80% of these decks. Okay, let's keep it a stack, let's keep it real. Blackbeard is just going to be a meta warping deck. It's a floodgate type of leader. That's what it is. I don't think One Piece has ever seen a floodgate type of leader before. I've come from Yu-Gi-Oh, so things like Skill Drain, Summon Limit, you know, Vanity's Emptiness, or Vanity's Fiend, I forgot what it's called, one of those two. But nonetheless, it's a floodgate leader. This is a floodgate leader. It turns off damn near almost, I'll probably say 80-90% of the game. So this is going to be a warping leader. Okay, it's probably the reason why they didn't even ban Gecko, because this could pretty much just turn it off. I agree with this. Black and yellow Luffy is still one of the best decks to pick up right now, y'all. I'm telling you, black and yellow Luffy, as long as Gecko's in the game, it will always be in the Shice tier 1, one of the best decks in the One Piece meta. So if you guys do want to pick up a brand new deck and you're new to the game, you pick up black and yellow Luffy, more likely you'll probably be good all the way until January 2025. And that goes the same with Lucci. For some reason, he still has Lucci in tier 1 right now, tier S, the best pretty much tier you could be in. I'm actually surprised, you know, especially since how much the stage really does hurt Lucci. But you know, in my opinion, would I put this down here? No, let's just keep all the tier S decks the same up here. So I'm not gonna really change nothing up here. So Lucci, it does get a little bit of support in OP09, but it's already just a really good foundational type of deck, you know what I mean? Just the base foundation of Rob Lucci is definitely shice, and I don't mind it being there. Next leader we have is Bonnie. I'm actually surprised this is so high, to be honest with you guys. If it was up to me, I would probably put it in A, but just looking at A, there is a lot more decks that this guy has. So, you know, let's just keep it. Like I said, I'm just going to keep it. Bonnie, very, very good deck. Green deck. I think it's probably around $200 or $300. It has a built-in Capone every single turn. The only way to really win against this deck is to go wide. Just really good on board control. If you guys like board control decks, you guys might think about picking this up for the OP09 meta, because, you know, this is the thing too. This guy's from the East. I'm pretty sure he play tested with a whole bunch of people with the new ban list and the new cards proxying it. And this guy's saying this might be solid. This might be solid. Next deck we already know is going to be solid is Purple Blue Êዡ. This is going to be another shiesty list, shiesty deck to use. The fact that RP Law is no longer in the game, this deck is literally back on the menu. Like I said earlier, if you guys just play êዡ without none of the bond clays, this is a $63 to $68 deck. A very, very shiesty deck, y'all. Very, very shiesty deck for the price. If you guys want to play on a budget and still have the best deck going into OP09, êዡ's definitely a pickup. Definitely what you need to go towards if you are a budget player. That's for all my budget players. And in the next and final deck we have in Shice is Doflamingo. I already told you guys earlier, once we get the new starter deck support, Doflamingo is going to be a problem. I feel like it's going to be one of the best, if not the best, mono blue decks out there. And yeah, I don't really see nothing changed about this deck. I had it in my S tier back in my OP08 tier list, and I'm not surprised it's in OP09 because of how strong it is. Very, very good deck. Very, very strong deck. So let's go ahead and get straight into the A1 and Brazy. Now, once we get to any of these lists right here, or these tiers right here, I will be making some corrections because I feel like some of these maybe should not be so high, to be honest with you guys. So the next card we're going to be talking about is the new leader from OP09. If you guys don't know what this Robin does, it pretty much just banishes on every attack. That's just like its selling point. And honestly, I really do like this just because it does counter Enel and all the other type of decks that revolve around, you know, the life manipulation. Okay, so you know, I feel like we can leave this here. Definitely possibly a good choice. And yeah, man, I really don't see nothing change with this Nico Robin. Next deck we have right here is Boa. He put this in A1. I don't think this belongs in A1, to be honest with you guys. If anything, I would think it belongs in B. There's no reason to even play this deck because this deck, Boa and Doflamingo, use the same exact type of packages, and I feel like he might be able to put in A1, but let's keep it a buck. How many Boas do you guys really think you're going to see if Doflamingo's here? And the price is literally, I think if you just pick up the deck right now, the price for Doflamingo is at $170. This is at $150. They're damn near the same price. They use the same exact package. They use the same exact cards. I don't think it's going to be an A1 because I don't think anybody's going to use this deck, because if they do want to use a strong blue leader, they're just going to use Doflamingo. So I'm going to put Boa right here. So the next deck we have right here is Enel. Enel is a gatekeeper deck, my favorite deck of all time. It's just because it's my favorite character. I remember, let me tell you guys something about Enel, man. A lot of people complain about Enel, but I honestly didn't even know the community hated Enel like that. I just saw this nigga was a leader. I was like, oh hell, I don't even care. This dude sucks. We're using it. And come to find out he's gatekeeping and shitting on everybody. Everybody hates Enel. So I think that's really comical. But him being A1, I feel like, you know, I always like putting Enel in Shice, but okay, we'll just listen to him. We'll put in A1. That's fine. That's fine. I guess A1's fine. So the next deck we have right here is Gecko Moria. This is the third best black deck. In my opinion, I feel like this is the proper place where Gecko should be at in OP09. These two decks, I feel like outpace it a little bit. The main reason why I like Gecko Moria personally is for the hand ripping, especially against decks like Nami or any decks that have a lot of cards in their hand. This deck ripping potential of Gecko is unmatched. You guys always want cards in your hand, so the fact that he forces you to really just ditch a lot of cards out of your hand is very, very shiesty. A1's a really, really good place for him. Okay, next deck, oh, let's put it right here. So the next deck we have right here is Purple Luffy. I'm gonna be honest with you, Purple Luffy is just a watered down version of this purple and black Luffy right here. So realistically speaking, when OP09 comes out, are people really going to be playing Purple Luffy? Let's keep it a stack. Are people really going to be playing Purple Luffy? I don't think so, because they have this deck right here. There's no reason to play Purple Luffy if black and Purple Luffy almost does the same exact thing, and it's stronger with a whole much more support, and it gets to use the black side. So I feel like Purple Luffy, I feel like it's not going to be an A1. I think it's going to be right here. That's just my opinion. I feel like there's no reason to use this purple deck if this deck is here, okay? That's just my opinion. Next deck we have right here is ﷺ. I know it got a whole bunch of Revo support, but to be honest with you, Sabo is a way better. I feel like Sabo should probably be up here, especially after the starter decks come out. It's just, especially if it's Revo Army, I feel like this needs to be down here as well. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like these three are just not, I don't know, they're just not that strong to me compared to some of these other decks that are in here. I feel like some of these decks in here should be up here. Next deck we have is Yamato. Yamato, I guess we can leave that here. I mean, Yamato's Yamato, double attack, and it can rush the board. It can really, the main selling point of this deck is really the Onami and double attack banish. You guys see what I do with Cracker, and the fact that Yamato can do this on a consistent basis without having to draw the Cracker, very, very cracked. I won't mind leaving it here, okay? I won't mind leaving it here. I think it might be brazy, but we'll just leave it here. Nami is fine A1 as long as it's not Shice. I'm not even going to talk about Nami because it's a boring. Actually, I know, hey, listen to me. Nami is an A1 deck, but just since I don't like Yami and the fact that they play with themselves all day long, I'm literally just gonna put this in dog water, okay? This is an A1 deck, but I just hate the concept of this deck and just how the mechanics of how this deck works. So we're just gonna put that in dog water where it belongs, in the trash. Okay, absolutely in the trash.
Know your fucking place, trash. Fucking robots.
Next deck we have right here is Zoro. Zoro is probably the premier red leader. I think I have two Zoros here. I think, yeah, I do have two Zoros here. I do have two Zoros here, so that's unfortunate, but we'll just leave both of them. Actually, let's put this one. Actually, no, let's put this one here. So we have two Zoros here. So the Zoro, I feel like this might be the best red deck at the moment, which is unfortunate. I actually have another red deck that might be more shystier than this, but we'll just leave Zoro here. It did get a lot of support with the chopper cards and just the animal cards. Very, very good rushing deck, and it can abuse the new Goldie Roger card. So very, very good card. So this is what I have at A1. So let's go ahead and get straight into this section right here. I feel like some of these cards, a lot of these decks should belong right here. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. Shanks, from what I've seen from Shanks, I feel like this should probably be in the back of A1. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of gameplay with Shanks. Initially, if you guys look on my channel, I said this deck is going to be trash, but I've been seeing a lot of people play with this deck and they've been having a lot of success, a lot of wins. I don't really see this deck losing too much. I'll probably put it in the back of A1. I don't think it should be B at all. I do not think it should be B at all, but A1, I feel like this probably is going to be A1. The next deck we have right here is Lim. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I can't even make a proper judgment on this deck because I actually don't even know what this deck does. This is the only leader that is coming out that I actually don't know what the hell this does, because I don't know, green purple is kind of a mid combo, number one, and number two is just, I think the effect is pretty bad as well. So I really don't know what Lim does. Let me know below what Lim does. But yeah, next card we have right here is Ace. I feel like Ace, especially with all the support, it might be one of the top decks in Brazy in tier 2. I honestly think if Ace high rolls, it can go crazy. It really can, but it just all depends on if it high rolls or it doesn't. The thing about Ace is that when you don't see your cards, you pretty much almost auto lose. I won't know if I should put it in the top of Brazy, but I'll just leave it here for right now. The next leader we're going to talk about is Red and Yellow Sabo. I feel like Red and Yellow Sabo is up here replacing Bello Betty's spot. Bello Betty is not as good as Sabo. I'm telling you that right now. I played against some shicey ass Sabo players, and just now, without even us having any of the new support, Bello Betty is not on the same level as Red Yellow Sabo. It's not. I don't care what you're saying. Like, Red Yellow Sabo shits on Bello Betty. Okay, that's just a fact. If you guys don't like it, don't know what to tell you, but from my personal experience and from what I'm seeing even in the East meta and in our meta, I don't care what you say. Red and Yellow Sabo, definitely the better red and yellow deck, especially the Revo version of the deck. This deck is kind of mid. I feel like if anything, this deck belongs in B. It's not better than Red and Yellow Sabo. Red and Yellow Sabo is definitely better. The next deck we have right here in B is Purple Red Luffy. These two decks in particular, I mean, purple, red, purple, just in general, I'm gonna talk about them right now. Just these two purple decks. Why would you play these two purple decks if purple black Luffy's here? That's my question. And that's why I feel like a lot of these purple decks that are out are just going to be overshadowed because this is the newest thing coming out. He's in gear 5, so his art looks crazy. And then this is probably one of the best decks. Why would you guys play these two decks if this is here? I feel like just when it comes to ramping, this deck does it better, on top of the fact that it can pop everything with board removal, and that's what this deck these two decks kind of struggle with, is board removal. So I feel like this black and purple Luffy is definitely what you really want to be going for. I feel like these are the proper spots, because realistically speaking, I honestly feel like nobody's going to be playing these other purple decks except for this deck right here. The next deck we have right here is ʤauⱠⱠ ʤauⱠⱠ, I initially put it in a 1, but I don't know, gang. I don't know. Maybe it's in. I feel like he put this here because of Blackbeard, because it turns off all on-play abilities. That's the only reason why, which would make sense if this is right here. And to be honest with you guys, if everybody's on Blackbeard and it's that meta defining, then ʤauⱠⱠ might be stuck in this in this slot right here. Okay, so I don't mind that's being here. Same thing with Katakuri. Only thing about Katakuri is that ever since the structure deck did come out, it did get a buff. If anything, I put it in the back of A, the really back of A. I mean, I think it's even behind Shanks right here. Okay, but I still feel like Katakuri is still on the table. Very strong deck. But yeah, gang, I really just don't see how this deck can be B. I feel like with the new structure decks enabled, this is definitely a tier 1 deck, definitely. Foxy, I'm gonna be real with you, ain't nobody gonna be playing old damn Foxy. Okay, and I mean, Foxy's good, but with this deck coming out and then the new support that the purple Luffy gets, Foxy is definitely taking a backseat. I know there's a lot of Foxy fans. I'm putting this shit in cold. Comparing this deck to all these other decks, I mean, Foxy's just getting power scaled out. That's all it really is happening at this moment. Uta, very good deck with all the new I forgot what it's called, 18 decks coming out, all the starter decks coming out, and the support that it gets. It's just really good, decent deck. I feel like it belongs in Brazy. Pudding, it could go right here, in my opinion. But let's be real, it's a purple deck. Are you really gonna want to play purple and yellow? No, I feel like we should leave it right here. I feel like this is right. I feel like we should probably leave Pudding right here in Brazy. I feel like when it comes to the yellow side, Katakuri does it better. And when it comes to the purple side, purple black Luffy does it better. So yeah, this is probably the spot Pudding needs to be. Marco is really shiesty. Out of all the decks that I've played against, I really do like Marco. It's just the fact that it doesn't have 5 life is what's really hindering this. That's just my opinion. The fact that it doesn't have 5 life is really hindering it. Yeah, I got some support from the starter decks with the Whitebeard being added. It's still pretty decent, but comparing it to all these other decks, I still feel like this is the proper place it needs to be. Next deck we have right here is Perona. Perona, I feel like it's always been the best sleeper deck. As long as Gecko is a thing, the 8-drop Gecko is a thing, I feel like this is the proper ranking for Perona. I feel like it's a sleeper deck. A lot of people don't even know how to play against Perona. I actually might even be having a how to beat series on Perona. So yeah, I feel like this is the proper, placement for Perona. The next deck I feel like might be up here is Whitebeard. I feel like Whitebeard might be up here just because it can abuse the 13k Goldie Roger, y'all. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. A lot of people all over the internet saying this will be broken. This is a prediction list as well. I mean, things could change, but from just seeing Whitebeard in action with the 13k abuser and Goldie Roger, this deck is actually kind of crazy with all the support that they're getting as well. I feel like Whitebeard might even be like one of them. I feel like it might even be better than Zoro, to be honest with you guys. I feel like Whitebeard might even be right here. Okay, just my opinion, just a prediction list. We have to see what happens. Red Green Law we can leave here. I mean, Red Green Law does Red Green Law things. I feel like out of all the placements, this is probably one of the most perfect placements. It's not in cold, definitely not in A and Shice. It's definitely not in dog water with Nami. I feel like this is the pretty much the proper placement for this. Boa, like I said, Boa, Purple Luffy, and also Bella Betty this is where they all belong right here. So this is what I have so far when it comes to Shice, tier 1 and tier 2. Okay, so this is S, tier 1, tier 2. This looks more correct in my opinion. These aren't in any particular order, but if I had to choose the best deck out of tier 2 or Brazy, I don't know, man. I feel like all of them almost are on the same level. I don't know. You let me know what should be at the top of B. Now let's go ahead and get straight into the cold. Cold, we have Buggy. This leader is trash. Even with all the support, it just needs more support. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything else about Buggy. Very, very cool art. Very, very cool looking leader. It has some things going for it, but as it stands right now, I feel like this leader just gets better over time because they have to print more and more support for the Buggy leader. So that's just my opinion. Next deck we have right here, I already talked about Foxy. Next deck we have right here is Black Luffy. I don't see anybody playing this deck. It's probably the reason why it's here, so I feel like this is correct. Now the red Sanji, I don't know. This might go right here. I don't know. Red Sanji can be up here, to be honest with you guys, but let's just leave it down here. This is his placements for cold. If he puts it cold, that means he must think it's really, really bad. Man, we can just leave that here. Red Ace belongs here. Black Lucci belongs here. Now Smoker, no, Smoker's based. Smoker's based. I feel like it belongs in Brazy. I feel like Smoker definitely belongs in Brazy. And yeah, man, ever since the new starter decks come out, Smoker did get a little bit better. So if you guys are a Smoker player and you like using Rogue or some jank shit, this is the time, because Smoker did just get a buff with the starter decks, and going into OP09, I think it does, you know, I think it deals with the meta pretty fair, to be honest with you guys. And yeah, this is my opinion on the OP09 tier list. Okay, let me know below what you guys think of the OP09 tier list. This was initially a person from the East tier list, and then I saw it, I'm like, bro, let's actually talk about this. Let's actually talk about this right now, because I'm actually curious to see, you know, what you guys personally think. But all in all, when I actually just take a gander at all this looks like the most proper list. The only thing that might be changed is probably maybe Shank's still down here, probably the top of tier 2 B. But besides that, I feel like this is the list, y'all. I feel like these are going to be the best decks. So if you guys are looking into a deck that you guys do want to invest in, you know, look at these top decks, okay? Because a lot of these top decks are cheap. Like this is $170. This is $60. This is probably going to be like close to $200. Yamato's cheap, Whitebeard's cheap, Zoro's cheap, this is cheap. Like all these decks are cheap as hell, y'all. So hey, if you guys are looking at tier list and thinking, hey, you know, what am I playing to the point where, you know, when OP09 comes around, I'm in, you know, I'm pretty much good. I don't need to worry about it. This might be the tier list for you. This is the tier list for OP09. Tell me what you guys think below. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll go.